In the news headlines tonight, the last batch of the displaced residents of the Wafu Estate redevelopment project can expect to move in to their new homes 6 years ahead of the original schedule. Secondary school students in the city will get a $200 subsidy to visit private dental clinics starting next year. And the head of the South Korea's ruling party has called for President Yoon Suk-yeol's immediate step down, citing significant risks of a second martial law attempt.
The last batch of displaced residents of the Wafu Estate redevelopment project can expect to move into their new homes 6 years ahead of the original timeline. According to the Housing Authority's revised redevelopment schedule for one of the city's oldest public housing estates, tenants of Hwa Choi House and Hwa King House, originally slated to move out in 2040-41, are now expected to move into the new Wafu Estate Phase 1 in the second quarter of 2034. The new arrangement came after the announcement of adopting the Smart and Green Mass Transit System in South Island Line West, in which sites reserved for the original heavy railway system could be released earlier. Separately, additional details regarding the Choi Hong Estate development plan have also been revealed. Residents in the first phase of redevelopment, including Pik Hoi House, Kem Pik House, and Tan Phong House, have until April 2029 to move out of their units. The government will offer subsidies based on family size, ranging from just over $10,000 to no more than $32,000. One-person or two-person households can also opt for cash allowance instead of public housing relocation. In a bid to enhance the city's oral health and dental care system, the government is revamping its strategy by focusing on prevention, early detection, and prompt intervention. Special initiatives are introduced to cater to the needs of both the youth and the elderly. The government is set to roll out the primary dental co-care pilot scheme tailored to adolescents, aiming at promoting regular oral health checkups. Teenagers aged 13 to 17 will only have to pay $200 to have their teeth checked at private clinics, with the government matching this amount in a co-payment initiative. This student said the scheme is useful because $200 is not a small amount to him. While this student said scaling is a personal matter that cannot be incentivized just by subsidy. Additionally, a community dental support program will be launched next year, aiming at focusing resources on underprivileged groups, including elderly persons with financial needs. The range of services is extended to dental filling on top of tooth extraction. The Department of Health will introduce an online registration system for patients visiting public dental clinics starting December 30th to save elders from the painful wait of queuing outside clinics at midnight. Half of the slots will be reserved for the elderly, and patients will need to provide their real names for registration. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
A blaze erupted at a shipyard in Aberdeen on Friday afternoon, sending dark fumes billowing into the neighborhood. No casualties were reported so far. Authorities received multiple reports at 4:11 p.m. about the fire that broke out at the shipyard on Shamwan Road. The fire was upgraded to number 3 alarm within half an hour. 9 people were evacuated, with no casualties reported. Firefighters deployed 3 fire hose teams and mobilized 2 breathing apparatus teams to battle the blaze. Standing in the witness box for an unprecedented 12 days, former media mogul Jimmy Lai testified today that he ceased lobbying for sanctions against mainland China and Hong Kong following the enactment of the national security law on June 30, 2020. Lai's remarks follow the defense's request to clarify his mindset before and after the law. Today's key evidence presented in court included Lai's WhatsApp messages with opposition figures like Democratic Party founder Martin Lee, former chairman Albert Hall, and Lai's assistant Mark Simon. In these conversations, he expressed deep concerns about the law's harsh provisions, saying they would harm Hong Kong's future. He said he felt saddened as he believed many companies might leave. He also mentioned that the rules in Hong Kong have vanished and that the government will become unrestrained. In response, Lai stated he understood that colluding with foreign forces and soliciting foreign sanctions had become criminal offenses under the new law. So he said he stopped such activities, calling them suicide under the law. However, Lai did admit to promising public support for the Democratic Party at a fundraising event and agreeing to print 3,000 protest posters for them just one day after the law's enactment. But he said he decided to cancel the event out of fear of breaching the law. Regarding an interview with the Associated Press after the law's enactment, where Lai vowed to continue fighting for democracy, as the law was worse than the worst scenario imagined. Lai admitted it was his intention to continue fighting, but clarified it would be in different attitude and approach. Facing charges of foreign collusion and sedition under the national security law, Lai has categorically denied these accusations during his previous testimony. Kun Tin-yak, Cable News.
Newly appointed Transport Chief Mabel Chan assures steady progress and controlled costs for the South Island Line West in a meeting with the Legislative Council Transport Panel. Speaking to the Railways Subcommittee on the second day of her tenure, Chan said utilizing a green mass transit system and elevated viaducts would make the project 40% cheaper to build than the original heavy rail scheme. She emphasized the feasibility of the smart and green mass transit system, considering technical capabilities and funding. While lawmakers welcomed Chan's appointment, they raised concerns over project details. Lawmaker Chang Hok-fong addressed worries regarding visual and noise impacts on nearby residents. Chan explained that by using rubber wheels, noise levels would be significantly reduced, assuring that it would also occupy less space and be unaffected by road traffic. She added that the government will communicate with residents before construction work begins. The government's goal is to kickstart detailed planning and design next year, with plans to initiate advanced construction works by 2027. Meanwhile, lawmakers also expressed concerns about the punctual completion of various upcoming railway projects, including the new mass transit system in Kai Tak. Chan said she is even more concerned about meeting the deadlines herself, and that plans have been outlined to expedite the contract award process in 2026, ensuring project completion by 2031. She added that she is committed to working efficiently and effectively. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
Asia's largest cruise ship, the Spectrum of the Seas, docked at Kai Tak Cruise Terminal early this morning, bringing from Shanghai nearly 5,000 eager passengers to the city. As expected, a long queue formed at the terminal, but in a delightful twist, this time it was taxis waiting to whisk tourists away to their hotels in comfort. We're here because the terminal operator is giving out liquefied petroleum gas coupons to encourage us to pick up passengers, said this cabbie. Drivers and terminal staff were seen assisting passengers with their luggage, enhancing the arrival experience. This passenger said Kai Tak's the best terminal she has been to in terms of service. This passenger, a first-timer to Hong Kong, was impressed by the smooth process and friendly service, adding he was especially surprised to see so many taxis waiting for them. For those opting for public transport, additional bus routes and shuttle services were deployed to connect passengers to MTR stations. Even first-time visitors need not fear getting lost, as terminal staff are on hand to guide them. For those wishing to relax before their next adventure, a baggage hall is available for resting. The terminal last welcomed the cruise ship on November 15th, when Celebrity Solstice carried nearly 3,000 overseas tourists from Singapore. At that time, many tourists struggled to find taxis, resulting in a long queue of over 100 people. However, under new leadership, the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau has committed to enhancing services and transportation at the terminal, as the mega cruise has planned to dock here as a seasonal home port for the next 2 months. Kun Tin-yak, Cable News.
South Korean protesters continued rallying outside the parliament amid growing calls to impeach the embattled President Yoon Suk-yeol after his failed martial law declaration. Even his own party may turn against him as well. One day after voicing opposition to the impeachment, the head of the ruling People Power Party, Han Dong-hoon, said Yoon needs to be removed from power, otherwise he could put citizens in great danger. Han quoted credible evidence that Yoon had ordered the arrest of prominent politicians on the grounds they were among those anti-state forces. After talking with the president today, Han said he heard nothing that could change his stance on the impeachment vote, which was scheduled for tomorrow. A two-thirds majority is required to pass the motion, which would need support from at least 8 lawmakers of the ruling party. Meanwhile, there are reports of another attempt to declare martial law. Acting Defense Minister Kim Sung-ho dismissed such rumors, saying even if there is a second martial law, the military will not obey any orders to execute it. In addition, the Defense Ministry suspended the duties of 3 military commanders involved in the martial law declaration, while military prosecutors seek a travel ban for 10 military officials connected with the martial law imposition. Anna Chan, Cable News. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump picked ex-Senator David Perdue to be U.S. ambassador to China. Trump said Perdue brings valuable expertise to help build a relationship with China, citing his decades-long career in business. Calling Perdue a loyal supporter and friend, Trump added that his new China envoy will be instrumental in implementing his strategy to maintain peace in the region and a productive working relations with China's leaders. 74-year-old Perdue, formerly a Georgia lawmaker, has significant business experience in Asia, including China, something he ran on during his Senate election in 2014. He has also lived in both Hong Kong and Singapore. The appointment comes amid threats by Trump to impose additional tariffs on Chinese goods unless Beijing does more to stop fentanyl trafficking.
Thank you very much.
Popular Japanese singer and actress Miho Nakayama was found dead in a bathtub at her Tokyo home. She was 54. Police rushed to her residence in Shibuya Ward after being called by her management agency around noon. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Nakayama was due to perform at a concert in Osaka later in the day, but it was earlier cancelled, citing health issues. Her cause of death is under investigation. Nakayama made her acting debut in 1985 and also launched a career as a singer the same year, and soon became a pop star. She starred in numerous TV dramas and films, including the 1995 hit Love Letter, which earned her several Best Actress awards. She got married in 2002 and moved to Paris. After taking a long break, she returned to the entertainment industry in 2010.